And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of La Comunidad, papi, of HonMonO versus La Comunidad Latino. As we're back here on the CranKy Ducklings. I'm of course host Live VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to a very special Showmatch series. Pro player versus the Latin American community. Here we go. If you're here last week, you would have been here for our previous Showmatch with MC, with Minchul. The boss toss himself did go up against the Latin American community. We saw them go back and forth in their series, in their matches, and now this week we have the most honorable of monorables. He's an animal. Let us go. So we do have that all these Terran matchups here ahead of us, and we have a lot to get into. Oh boy, as we do switch our scenes over and have a look at the upcoming matches. Now, as a reminder, the format and the way this show match works is that we have HonMonO, as you can see here, up against a plethora of players. Going to be going up against Ninja, Draconix, RyoGin, and some 2v2 players as well. As a reminder, we in the previous edition of this event, we did have 3v1s as well. That is not the case here, not the case this time, unfortunately. It was a lot of fun to see Minchul go up against 3 other competitors. Here we have 2v1s instead. So we have 2v1s to end the night, and 1v1s at least in every single matchup here. Terran versus Protoss, Terran versus Terran, and Terran versus Zerg as well. Also, these matches are played in StarCraft Evolution, not SC2. It is a mod in SC2. For those who have maybe not tuned into this mod before, it is a mod that brings together Brood War and StarCraft 2 in one, in a sense here. Of course, StarCraft Evolution is very actively being patched. It is specifically balanced for Brood War versus SC2, and that's what we're going to be featuring here for you today. Let's go. Let us go. Shout out to the Latin American community, of course. Shout out to the not just Latin American community. Shout out to Enki and all the other people working behind the scenes to make this event a reality. It's always a lot of fun, and there's also going to be a winners interview at the very end of the broadcast as well. So plenty to come. Plenty to arrive. Up first, we do have our TVP between HonMonO and Ninja. Let's go. Game 1 is going to be on Monty Hall. So I quickly just set things up here. Beautiful. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Monty Hall, we have the blue Protoss player representing the Latin American community and Exeritus Esports. It is Ninja. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the most honorable of monorables, the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran living in the land of Japan, representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. Of course, we just featured HonMonO in a best of 5 show match versus 3 Point, went all the way to the ace match, and HonMonO did take the series in the end, did cheese the hell out of 3 Point. I do recommend the VODs. Again, that was featured during the Duckling Showdown a couple of days ago on New Year's Eve, and now we're here with these best of 1 matchups. Here we go. And again, welcome one and all to Monty Hall. For those that are curious, for those who have not embraced this map before, and it's possible that Ninja might not have, Monty Hall is a pseudo island map. What I mean by that, as you can see here, we do not have any expansions, or we don't have any direct path here out onto the map. You're walled in with these mineral patches, so you have to mine through the minerals yourself, or your opponent has to mine through the minerals as well to scout you. So that is going to be a big differential here. So again, kind of a pseudo island map, as all the other bases are blocked off. We can see HonMonO does mine through towards this southern expansion, and again, the gold mineral patch specifically is only 1 mineral, so you can mine through that gold mineral patch and 1 worker can squeeze through. Lings cannot, Marines cannot, workers can. But that's also why I say that it looks like potentially Ninja is a little bit less familiar, because he has yet to mine through that patch. He's mining through the gold minerals instead, taking a lot longer to get through. So he is going to be going for a much later expansion. Further in, just going for his own gate into Cybercore, into a more delayed Nexus. It is, of course, SC2 Protoss from the side of Ninja, and the Brood War Terran from the side of HonMonO, opening up CC into a 3-rack setup. Okay, so very bio-heavy here out of HonMonO. Likewise, also going to be mined through those patches, so you can actually gain access to this side of the map. Another important part as well is that each one of these lanes is completely isolated from the other. It's almost like a MOBA here. We have the center lane, the lane towards the south, and the lane towards the north as well. You can, of course, traverse between them with drop play, with drops, with Nidus worms, for example. That is possible. But outside of that, a ground-based army would have to rotate by racing back home and then rotating back around and getting back into that lane. So that can make rotations very awkward for certain races. Of course, Protoss players will have recall available, so they can always recall back home if they are out of position, but for other races it can be a little bit more awkward to do so. As HonMonO is getting into his 3-back setup, again working towards that academy as well. That should be for stim, for all of our range upgrades as well, for the bios, very biocentric here out of HonMonO. Meanwhile, across the map we have extra gateways on the way. It looks like a 3-gate blink setup here from Ninja, and he is now moving out. He expands towards the south, he breaks through towards the center, moving out across the map. Blink is not yet done, as Blink just now begins, and now he will confirm that at least HonMonO is not here, not towards the center expansion. It's going to take a while to really piece it all together. Will take a while. Likewise, no any kind of crazy tech on the way either. I mean, HonMonO just focusing on his bio production. Now we have the follow-up factory into the starport. The Marine Army is looking to move out. Again, this does hit a little bit sooner when it comes to a stim timing, just because you do not need starport production to support the main army. You can go from stim straight into medic production as well. Oh, and HonMonO already moving out. And again, HonMonO, he hasn't actually scouted. He doesn't really know where his opponent has expanded, so he's gambling a little bit here. He's pushing right through the center. Ninja did confirm that, of course, HonMonO did not expand in the center of the map either. And Ninja, he is exposed. He is vulnerable. Oh, and HonMonO is rocking up. Does move out across the map. Again, that's a little bio. Stim is not yet done, only halfway completed this one. He scans, he is looking for the base. He's looking for the expansion, checks the northern base, and now he has confirmed the south. He has confirmed, does start a step forward. Nice force field. Shield battery is going to be targeted down, and Ninja should be able to hold on. The shield battery tanks a lot of hits, and Ninja holds. And Ninja does not lose a single unit. Did lose a shield battery, but that can be replaced. That was 9 Marines going down. Scan does a real saturation. And again, that was a bit of a premature move here by HonMonO. He did not wait for stim. Behind this, tank production has begun. Getting into tanks, second factory. Building up his bio, preparing here to defend against the counterattack. Blink is about to finish, and the bunker is not yet done. Oh, dust him in. Sims in, and Blink, 5 seconds. Uno más. Oh my god, Stalker does go down. Blink finishing up after the Stalker falls. So HonMonO does step forward. We have the, 1.5 millimeter rounds with we have the range upgrade on the way for HonMonO. Is it 7.6? 7.2? Something like that. We'll see it on the right hand side when it does get researched. But HonMonO, he does hold on. The tank is out. Siege mode has been researched. Of course, this is back in the day when siege mode does have to be researched instead. It has to be learned by the tanks. They'll learn how to set up. Medical production well underway. And HonMonO, he's getting secure. At the same time, Ninja taking his own third base, expanding towards the center. Taking that center expansion, not expanding towards his opponent. 2 3-8 shells, there you go. feels like some kind of number. There we got there. Basically 7.2 millimeter rounds. As HonMonO, he will slowly break out. We have splash damage on the way forward. Ninja working on the bait, working on Colossus production. Ninja is building up. HonMonO, he moves out. Oh! Tank is going up, catching a Stalker. SP goes here by HonMonO. He does push towards his opponents. Something that HonMonO does enjoy doing in this matchup is, or specifically on this map, is not to mine through these patches, but push forward and expand here towards his opponent. Enki is confirming that there was a patch. Of course, again, StarCraft Evolution is a game mode that is being actively patched. True. So base is on the way. On location. And then from here, HonMonO, he can take the bottom left-hand expansion as well. and even the northern base. Just all pushing towards the Protoss player. And again, we'll see if Ninja can hold on. For the time being, force the Kai back. Colossus has arrived. He does have to engage. Can he catch the army on siege? Up the tank! Tank is going to be targeted down. Bio army gets caught out. And Ninja, he will take this fight. Yeah, he cleans up every single tank. The tanks are going down. The bio as well at the same time. Drop on the right-hand side. The tank drop even. A very expensive drop, I will say. And does Ninja recall? Well, not quite. HonMonO, he unsieges. He backs up at the same time. Ninja going for a counterattack. And can he deny the third? Again, for the time being, he's unaware of it. He doesn't know. Doesn't know that this has been taken. Nice positioning here out of HonMonO. Does get behind the mineral line. 10 probes going down. And Ninja's going for the kill, going for the natural. He does not spot the third. Otherwise, he could have denied. Nice force fields. Colossus goes down. SCVs as well. They get locked in, at least for a moment. Oh, the Observer. Observer does rally into the turret. Does survive. Tank does siege. Still no mining here from the third. Ideally, we want to try to come in from behind. Ninja blinking forward. Does get one tank. And gets the other as well. Yeah, no on siege in time. The reinforcements arrive a little bit too late. They will punish the Stalkers, though. 3 Stalkers go down. Getting a 4th Stalker as well. As Ninja now can resaturate his third base. But alas, he was not aware of the third of his opponents. He could have denied this. As Ninja, he backs up. HonMonO gets away with the expansion. Ninja is still unaware. Oh, he's checking though. He's going to be checking. It does rock up, does get eyes on the base. HonMonO, now he has gathered an army though. That's 4 tanks. Jesus. 4 tanks pushing in. Ninja, he can't fight this head on. Has to back up. Yo, the flares. Some of the flares do collect. Optic flares, I should say. It's a rare sight. The way that it works is that it reduces the range, the vision of a unit to 1 or to 0. Doesn't mean that you have no vision, but it means you have to rely on other units to provide vision instead. And with that HonMonO, he gets away with the third. Does get away with it. Lockdown has been researched. Ghost production has begun. Well, I mean, we already have 4 ghosts ready. As HonMonO, he is walling up. Likewise, Ninja maintaining himself, getting into Storm. Storm production underway. And again, like the other difficult thing for Protoss here is that Ninja can't go for Zealot Rumbais, right? He can't go for Zealot Rumbais. He can go for War Prism Harass, that is true. That is what he has to rely upon. But your typical Zealot Rumbais aren't really going to be anywhere near as effective because there's only one base that's really exposed, and even then it's not because the army is in position. Any kind of Rumbais and any kind of counterattacks, they are rendered almost inert. Hello, HonMonO. Nuke is on the way. Let's go. We have the nuclear silo. HonMonO moving out. Looking to nuke the expansion. Ninja taking a 4th. Here we go. I thought it was taking on the whole community at once. One at a time, or 2 at a time. So we go. Nuke is going to be thrown down. Ninja, has he noticed? I'm not... Okay. He's at least somewhat aware. Doesn't have detection. Nuke is going to go off. Oh, does kill himself in the process. Ghost goes down, but here comes the main army. And lockdown is ready. Yo, we are ready for the lockdowns. HonMonO, he has a terrifying army. Does push forward, laying siege upon the third. Massive tank boys going up. And here come the lockdowns. Oh, there it is. Lockdowns of Colossus, the Immortals as well. Most of the main army. And from here, HonMonO can just push forward. He can just push forward. Lockdowns, it lasts so long. Yeah, he's stimming in. What about the storms, though? Storms are ready. Army dives in. Oh, storm on the bio is getting on top of the tanks. Nuke on the main army. But the storms. Oh my god. Yeah, the storms are going to be brutal. One of the storms does not quite connect, though. Yeah, did have a shoot with that storm. Zoning away. There's still one tank left. That was a very tense fight, and Ninja, he almost broke out. But barely not. Has to retreat. Going to be zoned away. Again, one more storm may have been enough. As HonMonO maintains his position, maintains his ghost army as well. There's one storm left, at least currently. Let's go Ninja, he does push out. Does break out, forcing HonMonO back. Likewise, double drop towards the center base. Does get the tank. Tank goes down. Ninja does attempt to counterattack at the same time, though. Ninja out of position. Does he recall? Oh, he tries to commit. A bit of an awkward attack. Lockdowns on the Stalkers. Let's go. Either DTs to defend. But our Templar, they do enough. The Colossus have arrived. Ninja holds. Ninja, he does hold on. Pulling back, takes down the CC. There's so many of them, Jesus. I mean, I guess you need them for all the nukes. And Colossus raining down the army. Oh, but there's still no buffer here for this force. 30 SCVs going down, and Ninja, does he have enough? Not the Colossus. They're running into the Ghost. The lockdowns are brutal. The Colossi, they're going to be going down. Charge coming in to support. Storm as well. A massive storm on the army. Oh my god, the storm is brutal. The storm connects, the tank goes down. But the lock-on is still good. Jeez, the lock-on lasts so long. The first units are they're still locked down. They're still in stasis. It's crazy, but they do deny the third. They're raised at 4. There we go. Finally, the lockdown does expire. Ninja breaks out, getting a 5th base. He pulls away. Does pull away. UT238, yeah. As the nuke harass continues, nuke popping off, HonMonO is still recovering. Ninja, he's been fighting well. But does he notice? He does. Does notice in time, pulls away. Nuke shutting down the side defense. Going for another nuke on the base itself. The observer has arrived. And I did not realize this, but the Colossus, they can actually traverse over the cliffs. Oh my god, that's crazy. I didn't realize, but okay. I guess Protoss has at least some maneuverability here on this map. The more you know. I did not see this kind of unit interaction before, but okay. They can traverse over the cliff faces. Let's go. You know, HonMonO going for a double drop on the right-hand side. Is there a recall? It does stem in. Ninja, he evacuates the 5th. There's the recall on the main army. Pylons go down. Oh no! No! He recalls the probes! No! Not like this! There was no recall to save anything. The base is going to go down. Ay, that's a brutal mistake from Ninja. Oh no. Oh no. The base is going to fall, and Ninja, he has a massive army, and what I will say is that he is up in army supply. He has Mass Disruptor, Storm, Colossus, has all the splash damage, and can he break the siege line? I mean, most of the tanks are unsieged. Ninja, he can try to break through. Okay, he's going for it. Does commit, shows the Novas. Nova's going to be going off. Storms as well. Oh my god! The bio army is going to crumble. What about the tanks? Well, the tanks, they do hold on. Not enough zealots. Not enough zealots here. Not enough to get on top of the tanks. Most of the bio does fall, and that's going to be entire base going down. Nuke behind the army. Uh-oh. And does Ninja notice? Does he notice? Double draw across the map. DTs to defend. Okay, he does. does notice, does pull away. Nuke does not connect. Very well placed nuke is what I will say from HonMonO. As SCVs are going down. But again, Ninja still cannot push into that tank line. Lock down on a disruptor. That is how many? That's 12 tanks. It's a lot of tanks. Ooh, drop gets cleaned up. Ninja, he defends. Another lockdown. Tanks are slowly pushing forward. I say slowly, unsieges everything. Oh my god. Does Ninja notice? Not quite. Yeah, he's gonna get caught out. Optic flares. Yeah, stems in. Ninja is gonna be shut down. They say, the hell out of here. Oh my god, once again the lockdowns are brutal. And Ninja, he loses every single one of his disruptors. That's how many? There was 6 disruptors going down. And Ninja, he overstayed his welcome. He has to retreat. The 5th base is going to be denied. Oof. And Templar getting caught out as well. There we go, the stack nukes. Base goes down. Ninja just being zoned away. Hopefully he notices. Oh no! No, get out of here! The nuke! Oh, does connect. Connects with the main army as well. Ay, ay, ay. Does take a nuke to the face. Very nice Nova. Nova takes down a massive chunk of medics. Ninja backs off. Still just being bullied back. Had to, yeah, still 12 tanks for HonMonO. The tank count is insane. I mean, Ninja's been playing so well throughout this game, but there were a couple of key missteps here and there. Like as we saw, getting caught out on the map. And with that, Ninja looks like he's abandoning the base. Yeah, he just gives up on it. Gives up on the expansion. HonMonO gaining ground. Ninja rotating towards the center, but I mean, what can he do here? He's mining. He's gonna try to mass mine through the center mineral patches. Bold move. Going to attempt a base trade and nuke here on the main army. Ninja does notice. Thankfully does, for the most part, pull away. Oh, I think the nuke is still gonna graze the army though. I think he'll take down a couple of zealots. Yeah, zealots go down. Oof. Not respecting the nuke enough. And HonMonO, he is doing it. He breaks through, takes down the Colossus. The lockdowns are brutal here. Pushing into the main. And Ninja is going for the base trade. But it's too late. I mean, HonMonO is already in the main. Already pushing in, already has more expansions. And again, Ninja, I feel like this was his game to lose. Which is impressive, by the way. Like, I was favoring HonMonO coming into this. And Ninja did not look bad at all. Yeah, he's forced to recall. He's racing back home. He realizes that he can't do anything here. Charge will take him in. Ooh, the tank line is brutal. And Ninja's gonna be cleaned up. GG gets called, and HonMonO takes game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. A very intense back and forth. We saw, again, for the most part, Ninja, he was winning these big major engagements. You know, despite the lock-ons, despite the siege lines, I was very impressed with how Ninja was able to engage with the main army, catch it on siege at times, catching that with storms, with novas as well. That is definitely where HonMonO was lacking when it came to splitting and trying to avoid damage from spells like storms, or from purification novas, or from these major engagements. Likewise, bases were being denied, but at the same time there were some crucial missteps here when it came to getting caught out, when it came to the missed recall and a base going down. Because that northern base fell, I mean, because of that, Ninja never got a 5th. He never got a 5th base up and running. He was stuck on 4 bases against a 3-basing Terran, and alas, he couldn't really take the economic lead he otherwise would have wanted, as he never was able to re-expand. Never did re-expand, never did re-establish his bases. Likewise, as we mentioned, one of the big features of Monty Hall is the fact that it strips away the ability to counterattack. Outside of course, War Prism harass, or big warpins across the map, you can't really harass outside of setting up ahead of time by mining through those mineral patches. You could argue that maybe Ninja should have tried to set that up ahead of time. Unfortunately, was kind of forced into this all-in position. And GG. GG, well played. HonMonO does take game number 1, and now we're getting ready for our next matchup here. We're going to be jumping into a TVT between HonMonO and Draconix. Let's go. Let us go. So getting into game number 2. The mobility of SC2 Protoss can really pull Brood War Terran apart. That is true, but that's also why the map is kind of the map itself. Monty Hall does kind of like strip that away, right? Going for Zealot runways, going for warping counterattacks, like that isn't really as possible as it is on some of these other maps, where the map itself is more open. Speaking of, here we go, we're loading into Abyssal Reef, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have the Peruvian Terran player, the Yellow Terran, representing NWCE. It is Draconix. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Red Terran player from South Korea, living in the land of Japan, representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. We go. So satisfying seeing the nuke. Oh no. I mean, the nukes were quite successful as well. We didn't see any kind of major connections, but connections nonetheless. Grazing the army. As we're settling in, big shout to Blaker Drews in the chat. Oh my god, baby god. I apologize. I don't think I noticed the alerts in game, so I do apologize. But shout out to Blaker Drews. Thank you so much for subscribing for 16 months. Gracias, baby, gracias. Thank you so much. Thank you. Here we go. The CranKy Duckling duo as a custom SC Evo casters. Oh no. Ah. What's it gonna be when you get supply blocked? Make some deepers, papi. Ay ay ay. Oh no. Your workers are under attack. Calm down. Not like this. Oh, God. All the catchphrases, all of them. Oh no. You need more minerals, you're an animal. The wall is not a wall. As up for now, Reaper does dip in. Trading with the army. Trying to attempt to outmaneuver HonMonO, but alas, so far HonMonO, he's able to hold his own. My apologies, I was a little bit distracted. It's going to be a Rax into a 3 Rax follow-up here. Sorry, an expand into a 3 Rax follow-up. Quite common here in Brood War Terran. And so far, he is able to keep up with the Reapers. Did end up losing 2 Marines, though. But the medevac has arrived, or the medic even. As Draconix does get behind the mineral line, getting into those SCVs. Ooh, 1 SCV goes down, not bad. Gets 1. And will be zoned away. All in all, after the Reaper harass, 2 Marine kills, 1 SCV. It's some okay damage here from Draconix, catching another Marine as well. HonMonO rallying out, getting caught with his pants down a little bit here. Losing another SCV. And another Marine. And back at home, Draconix is just setting up, getting to his own 1-1-1 setup tank production, bio into, I would imagine, Raven production as well. Is building up, trading quite well with these Reapers. No game-ending damage, but nice trades nonetheless. Ooh, a stim is done, and HonMonO does catch out one of the Reapers. Does get 1. Cyclone has arrived once again, just out trading or just out positioning the army. Ooh, the range is brutal. Once again, HonMonO trying to catch out the army, gets the Reaper. The Jukes. And there we go, does catch the Cyclone towards the end as well. Very nicely done. Bit of miscontrol out of Draconix. And HonMonO holds. HonMonO, he does hold on. Building up more bio. Getting to eventual tank production. Now, before that does occur, there is going to be a big power spike for Draconix, specifically with Ravens. The Ravens are on the way with their Defense Matrix. We've seen the power of Ghost and the power of lockdowns, especially in that last series. That is true in that last game. But here, I mean, Ravens will hit harder. Well, they will hit first, I should emphasize. They're going to be online faster. And Draconix can make use of that. Getting to his own 3-1-1 setup. HonMonO taking a star base on location. Being active with his Marines. As a reminder, Stim is done. Science facilities on the way. Is scouted here by the scan. Perfect. Oh no. Este for sure. Este for sure. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenidos. As HonMonO, he's just being active just to try to catch any kind of move out, whether it's a draw play, whether it's a committed push. HonMonO does have map control, or at least has a map presence. Just building up his bio upgrades. Likewise, Draconix, he does attempt to move out. He does spot the army.
Ready to roll out.
Rotates around, going to go the long way around instead, just avoiding HonMonO. It's a risky maneuver. At the same time, he is vulnerable back at home, but HonMonO has no idea. And Draconix, he does sneak out. Does sneak out across the map. HonMonO spreading out his Marines to catch any kind of drop play. And back at home, what is there to defend? No tank production yet. Rushing into Ghost instead. Okay. Rushing into Lockdown. That I was not expecting. But I'll be honest, without tanks, HonMonO is going to be in trouble here. And Draconix does go right down mid. Or he does, I guess, avoid the main army. Pushing towards the natural. The Ravens are here to disable, but there's nothing to disable. And tank volley is going up. Depot is going down. HonMonO, he has to evacuate his natural. He's set up for an attempted surround. But I mean, the Ravens are not just here to disable, they can also throw down auto turrets. Draconix, he does slow step forward. Going for the CC. Can he get it? Up! Up! Oh, he does! Command Center goes down. Command Center does fall. Lockdown is done. HonMonO, he can break out. Does he target the tanks, the Ravens? He's got 5 ghosts. Building up energy. Reinforcements are on the way. And who gets surrounded? Draconix, he does run into the main army. Oh, he does run into the bio. 1 Raven goes down. Massive pickup. Oh, and the tanks are exposed as well. 2nd Raven falls. And we come in for the surround, and Draconix, he gets caught out. Massive pickups. 3 tanks and 2 Ravens. Meanwhile, the bio army pushing in. Reinforcements towards the 3rd. Tank stable siege. HonMonO fighting his heart out. Some of the production is being camped. But HonMonO, he should be able to break this, especially with those lockdowns. There we go, lockdowns on the medics, on the medevacs, okay. Tanks as well. HonMonO, he will clean this up. These are expensive losses here for Draconix. But he did kill the base. He killed the natural. Took down some depots. 9 mining here at the 3rd. Damage was done. And back at home, Draconix has a massive economic lead here. 63 workers back at home. Building on more tanks, more bio. May have lost a large part of his army, but I mean, he can still hold his own. He's still looking quite competitive here. And the pressure's on HonMonO. He's got almost mass ghosts. Jesus. he's got 11 ghosts. Almost as many ghosts as there are Marines. Crazy. Working on +3? Jesus. The upgrade advantage for HonMonO is insane. As Draconix just now working on 1-1. HonMonO moving out. Re-expanding. Now landing his new natural. Does move out. Draconix has to be careful. Does rally over the army. Does notice in time. How about the lockdowns? Can he get the medevac? I think he can. Yeah, he's within range. Full medevac goes down. Massive pickup against the power of lockdown. Up once again. Gets another medevac. But Draconix's main army does respond. Tanks take siege up in time. Massive tanks. Oh my god. The tank shots are crazy. And Hoffler goes to fall. Draconix, he stims in. Might be down in upgrades, but he will overwhelm the army. Takes down the ghost, takes down the bio. One ghost survives. Again, HonMonO, he face check into a tank line. It was crazy. The tanks did pop off. Again, I'm still a little bit surprised that HonMonO himself just is avoiding tank production entirely. Just purely bio, Marines, medics, and ghosts. I mean, he's had his moments. HonMonO taking his fourth on location. Draconix coming in to deny it. Coming in with that triple drop. Will force a cancel. Ooh, that was a kill. 400 minerals down the drain. Draconix rallying across the map. I mean, he has momentum on his side. And Draconix can go for the kill. First diving in, lockdowns on the medics. Medevacs even. On the tanks as well. HonMonO, he will clean this up. Very efficient trade. But that was merely only half the army. Here comes the other half. And there are no lock-ons left. There's maybe one. Oh my god. High energy ghost goes down. And there's still another army. HonMonO, he just can't get any breathing room. Force to pull the boys. Tanks a little bit late to siege. But the SCVs, they just get annihilated here. The ghosts, they will break through. Oh my god, but the tank boys are brutal. And there were no lockdowns. So yeah, lockdowns were just a little bit too late. And Draconix, he has done it. He breaks through. Breaks through the defensive line. Getting on top of the bio. There are still tanks left over. Draconix, it looks like he has done it. Is running out of Marines, but the tank line is still solid. 2-2 soon about to finish. And again, a lot of this did come down to the initial move out. For Draconix to avoid the main army, to skirt around the edge. I mean, hey, Abyssal Reef is a large map. And killing that natural at the start of the game was just a pickup that HonMonO could never really recover from. Did try to, though. Once again, trying to break out into 6 tanks. And GG gets called. Draconix takes down a HonMonO. GG. Latino America fights back. GG, well played. I mean, we saw something similar last week as well with the MC show match, where MC did not go undefeated. We did have some of the Latin American boys take maps off of MC as well. And you can see here, HonMonO, he also does not go by unscathed. As Draconix does take the game, and again, even Ninja had a really close series against HonMonO as well. As a reminder, though, these are best of ones. These are best of ones. And with that, HonMonO versus Latino America, they are tied 1-1. And now we are getting into our next match. Into our next best of one here. It is going to be that best of one between HonMonO and the Bolivian Zerg player, RyoGin. Let's go. HonMonO, he went up against SC2 Protoss, SC2 Terran, and now SC2 Zerg. Whew. Let us go. Your name's getting rep. I mean, Draconix has been around for a long time. Has been around for a number of years. I'll be honest, I thought Draconix retired. Divertido, pa. Sí, sí. But here we go, we're getting into our next game, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Sylphid, we have the Bolivian Zerg player, the Blue Zerg representing Infernales Esports. It is RyoGin. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Hyper 1, living in the land of Japan. It is HonMonO. we go. As welcome one and all to a 3-player spawn map. You can spawn in bottom left, bottom right, or the top center of the map as well. So proxying, being aggressive early on here on Sylphid can be quite a gamble, to say the least. RyoGin is going to be opening up hatch first. HonMonO, likewise, CC first as well. And there are corners that you can cut because of the 3-player spawn, feature of this map. It can be quite, well, you don't really expect your opponent to proxy or to go for a 12 pool or to go for early aggression, so you can cut corners like this. So CC first out of HonMonO is more of an acceptable risk here. And for those of you that were here last week, RyoGin is one of the players that did take down MC. Of course, that was a different matchup. That was a ZVP, and RyoGin did link flood the hell out of MC. We'll see if he can do something similar to HonMonO. We shall see. As HonMonO CC first into, I would imagine, a 3 racks follow-up. Again, very common setup here in the Brood or Terran openers. Working towards bio production, working towards stim. Now, we have seen game after game here, both against Protoss and against Terran, that HonMonO, he is willing to be active early on before stim completes. As stim is halfway done, he's willing to move out with his bio army. So we'll see if he's going to be assertive here as well against RyoGin. Knows a bit of Spanish? Yes. I think we might be the reason for it. I don't know. But HonMonO, he started learning Spanish like a couple of months ago. I don't know, because he very much so drops by the channel quite often. And I don't know if he got interested because of that or not. Hard to say. But a couple of months ago, he started learning Spanish. And he does say, whenever we run tournaments, he speaks in Spanish whenever he can, which we appreciate. Do appreciate it. But yes, HonMonO, he's a very aggressive player in most matchups. At least when he plays SE2. There we go, stim is on the way. As HonMonO is building up, RyoGin is aware. And again, RyoGin, he has been a competitor for a number of years at this point. Never really reached the upper echelons of the Latin American scene. Like, when I think of the top Latin American Zerg players, I think of players like the Zerg Lord. I think of players like even before him. Oh my god, I almost said Darkness. Not Darkness. Jesus. Oh god, what was his name? Dark Unnamed, that was it. Dark Unnamed from Bolivia as well. I feel like RyoGin was always in the shadow of Dark Unnamed for most of his career. Of course, Dark Unnamed has since retired many years ago at this point, and RyoGin has stepped up in Bolivia, but again, hasn't been as active as some of these other Zerg players have been. So great to see him. Great to see him here, achieving success. As he's not supposed to move out. Let's go. Firebats now in the mix as well. Again, they have their place, especially against Ling Bane. So Fireback does chase down RyoGin. Hunting down the Lings. Let's go. Up. Oh my god. We'll catch them out, at least some of them. And yeah, stim is now done. We do see HonMonO committing with his move out. This time with Firebats. This time medics are in the mix as well. At least they're on the way. HonMonO does move out. Back at home, RyoGin, he's looking to defend with roaches, was distracting with lings, was buying time, still looking to do so as well, picking off one marine, forcing out another stim. HonMonO was distracted, and roaches, they're on the way. They're just now popping out in time. And is it going to be enough to hold on? How many roaches? 12. Soon to be 11. One roach gets picked up, no ravagers. HonMonO does scan ahead of time. And the roaches, they are here in time. They will shut this down. We almost got a surround. HonMonO's going to be forced back. Again, just a really defensive play here by RyoGin to get into roaches. But RyoGin, he is not droning. He's not droning up. He's staying on 2-base saturation. He's massing up Lings, going for a massive counterattack. And HonMonO, can he hold against this? There's no bunker. There's no bunker. There's no tank production back at home. HonMonO, he's in trouble. He's racing back. Bleeding out Marines, bleeding out the final Firebats. And RyoGin, he can just keep pushing. He can commit. And HonMonO, he's not ready for this. What does he have? He has only Marine. Yeah, only Marines at this point. Again, he was unable to confirm the Roach production. Otherwise, I'm sure he would have backed off and he wouldn't have committed. But he did lose half his army. And now HonMonO, he's up against the wall. RyoGin started stepping forward. Ravagers, they have morphed in. Oh. Just zoning him away. HonMonO dancing with the army. And RyoGin is running out of reinforcements. Gonna be pushing forward. The Ravagers are exposed. Yeah, RyoGin, he overextends. Did have to retreat. The Roaches, the Ravagers are gonna be hunted down. Behind this, RyoGin, he wasn't droning. Just reinforcements were delayed. Potentially missing injects here, as RyoGin does have a bit of a bank. Yeah, so the macro did slip. Uh-oh. And RyoGin, he's in trouble. Suddenly RyoGin, he's in a lot of trouble here. Again, he wasn't quite injecting, he wasn't reproducing. And HonMonO going for a massive counterattack. Like, RyoGin, he almost had this. Casito, baby, casito. Just now, Roaches have arrived, but the base is going to go down. There's no saving the third. Yeah, third base will fall. RyoGin trying to build back up. 1-1 upgrades finishing up for HonMonO. Again, didn't lose any workers. He saved the natural. Now he can push in. Just containing the Zerg player on 2 bases. RyoGin, he had potential, Pappy. He had potential. HonMonO pushing in, bullying back the army. Yeah, nice control. Takes down the spore. The Spine Crawler even. Decent surround there by RyoGin. But again, he cannot fight this without any kind of buffer. Lings are on the way. Once again, no injects. I mean, he did lose the queens. Yeah, and it looks like HonMonO is going to snowball out of control. Takes down every single Roach. The Ravagers as well. There's just not enough behind this. Wait, no larva. I mean, no money either. As RyoGin, he was all in. And HonMonO is snowballing out of control. How the pendulum swings from one player to the other. GG gets called as HonMonO. He fights back. He does take down RyoGin. GG. Whew. GG, well played. HonMonO does take it. He was up against the wall. Things were looking dire for HonMonO, but it did seem like RyoGin, his macro did slip for a while there. RyoGin, he was not able to reinforce. He didn't really have anything to help support his army, and because of that, he was caught out. He was caught out. If he had recognized that he was running out of steam, that he was running out of reinforcements, or at least that they were delayed, he should have backed off from there. It was a brutal moment. It was a game-ending moment when RyoGin lost all his Ravagers. When all the Ravagers went down, that was game then and there, and very quickly everything swung in favor of HonMonO. GG, well played. With that, HonMonO takes a lead against Latino America, does take a lead against them, and now we are getting into our next match, a bit of a more fun match here. Let us switch our scenes over. We can all have a look together. Again, so far we have had a back and forth. Again, I still feel like game 1 was very close and very clutch. HonMonO versus Ninja, that could have gone either way. HonMonO did take it in the end. Here, Draconix took down HonMonO in the TVT. HonMonO took down RyoGin in the TVT. And again, a lot of these games have been very close, very back and forth. I'll be honest, I'm a little bit surprised by how competitive these matches have been. And we have 2 best of 1s left. You can see here HonMonO versus some of the diamond players in the Latin American community. To make it even, of course, HonMonO, he isn't facing off against GMs. I mean, he did face off against GMs in the best of 1s, in the 1v1s, but in the 1v2s, he's going to be going up against diamond players instead. So we have 2v1s coming up next. We have Nygoki and Pumita. We have Spirit and Atlas as well. We're going to be going on a very short break. We're going to be going on a short break here. 5 minutes to get some snacks, get some food, take a moment here to get ready for the 2v1s to come, which is always a lot of fun. As a reminder, these are not Archon matches. This is not Archon mode. This is straight up 2v1. So we'll see you guys after the break. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to a special Latin American showmatch, the Latino American community up against HonMonO. Again, we just wrapped up with all the 1v1s, and now we have something special. We have all of the 1v2s. The 1v2s. Let us go. We have HonMonO versus Nygoki and Pumita coming up next. Oh boy. And it's always really interesting to see these 1v2s just because you don't necessarily have as much cohesion between the two players. Like you have the advantage of having two different bases, two different armies facing off against one opponent. But you know, we need some synchronization between the players as well, and sometimes that's not always there. Sometimes it's not always there, papi. Yeah, there's some infighting going on. We'll see how they all bring it all together here as we get into our next best of one, as we load into our 1v2. Let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner. In the top left-hand corner, we have our duo. We have our orange Terran and our teal Protoss. It is Nygoki and Pumita. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran, representing Team Hyper 1 on his own. It is HonMonO. Here we go, as we are going to be settling into our 1v2, and again, it is going to be HonMonO on his own up against two players. As I mentioned before, the 1v1s that we just casted, that we just featured, they are HonMonO up against GMs in the Latin American scene and Latin American community. Here in the 1v2s, to make it a little bit more fair, these are lower tier players around the level of Diamond instead. So we have our two Diamonds going to be facing off against HonMonO. So far, HonMonO going to be going CC first. And we'll see how both Nygoki and Pumita do approach this. As I mentioned before, again, a lot of this will come down to how well they work together, to how they make use of their added APM as well. Something that you can do here in this kind of format, of course, is a multi-pronged aggression to try to pull and tax the attention of the defending singular player, but we'll see. Also, bearing in mind as well that to make things even, you can't really see it, but HonMonO does have two bases. So he has two bases mining currently, which is why he can afford something like a faster CC. Here he is, of course, benefiting from this command center as well. As he's throwing down his Raxes, getting to a 4-rack setup, double expanding as well. And this is where I would say that it's on both Pumita and Nygoki to try to punish this. Again, HonMonO, he's going 4cc into 5 racks. He has 0 units. There are 0 units to defend. This initial Reaper harass, for example, from Nygoki can achieve a lot of damage. We have a Zealot on the way. It's going to be a brutal Protoss here out of Pumita. And again, that's a lot of Axes. It's going to be a lot of Axes. The first wave of Marines are on the way. HonMonO just achieving so much here due to his 2-base economy, of course. And here we go. Nygoki does move out. Home likewise is setting up. No early signs of aggression here. Looks like Pumita is going to be going into range or into Dragoon production. Range upgrade is on the way, getting his natural. Nygoki is going to be delaying his own natural base, opening up double gas. Interesting. Double gas into a faster factory. Delayed CC. This I'm less certain of here when it comes to the confidence I have to be delaying an economy against a player that's going to be on a 4-base setup, which is crazy. And here we go, making 5 Marines at a time. Stim is on the way. Reaper does get into the mineral line. Will delay some mining here at least, but I mean, we got 4 CCs. HonMonO, he's fine. He can afford to lose a couple of workers here and there. Can't afford that. So far, amassing on more Marines. And is now moving out. He's moving out across now. Stim is going to finish up by the time HonMonO gets across the map. And I'll be honest, I don't know if these two can survive. Because we're going to have a massive sea of Terran, a sea of Marines moving out across the map. We're going to have, what, 4 Dragoons, maybe 5, maybe 6 Dragoons at most. There is going to be 1, soon to be 2 tanks. Nygoki still on 1 base. Still on a 1-base setup. The tank has arrived, setting up here on the high ground. And we'll see if we can muster up the defense here together. Bunker also on the way. You see Pumita protecting the tank. Let's go. HonMonO has yet to pull the trigger. It looks like he's actually going to wait for his upgrades. I assumed he was going to be moving out with Stim, but we have, of course, range on the way for Marines. We have 1-1 as well. HonMonO, he may opt to just wait for these upgrades before he does commit. We'll see. We shall see. As we do have HonMonO moving out. Makes his way towards the expansions. Does skirt around the left-hand side. He avoids the initial ramp. We see Nygoki is setting up here with those bunkers. But HonMonO is going to come in from behind. Is going to sneak up on the army. Oh, I should also... One moment, though. There we go. Just trying to make the UI a little bit cleaner. As HonMonO scans at a time, he sees the tank setup. I mean, despite having all these Marines, can he actually break through this? I mean, the tanks are exposed. True. Like, these two tanks, they can go down in seconds. Reaver production has begun. Let's go. Pumita setting up, getting into Reavers. We'll have some greater splash damage. Nygoki getting supply blocked. Still yet to expand. But two players, they are building up. Meanwhile, Banshee has arrived. Is going to go down. Does get eyes on the would-be 5th base of HonMonO. At this point, HonMonO can double expand, getting a 5th, getting a 6th expansion as well. Still going purely mass marine. With the science facility, though, I would imagine once again HonMonO wants to go into lockdown, into ghost production. So marine, medic, into ghost is his go-to. Scans ahead of time, does spot the initial Reaver. And more Reavers are on the way. This does complicate things. With tanks and Reavers involved, I mean, despite having a much smaller army, there's a lot of potential here for the duo of Nygoki and Pumita. I don't see Nygoki getting this 3rd base up and running, though. As HonMonO does have map control, and he should be able to deny this. I mean, that's going to be the difficult thing here for this duo, is expanding and taking a 3rd. Whether it's here on the low ground, whether it's here on the left-hand side, these bases are more exposed, and it's going to be more difficult to keep up and defend these locations. Meanwhile, there we go, 6 ghosts being made at a time. Lockdown is being researched. Here we go. So HonMonO, he does move out. Getting another base. He's on a 6-base setup. The ghost will soon arrive, and lockdown is going to be ready. Lockdown is going to be ready here. Has someone built any tanks in the last several... Has he built any tanks today? I don't think he has. Oh, actually... In the TVP, did he build any tanks? He did, yeah. So on game one, he built tanks, and he has not made a single tank since game 1. So only the TVP, not against Zerg, not against Protoss, and not here either. So only game 1. He's a bio boy. And so far, HonMonO, he doesn't check the left-hand side, doesn't check the expansion. But HonMonO, he has a massive army. And again, as I just mentioned, expanding and taking a 3rd base is going to be a tough ask here for our 2 players. For Latino America.
Your SCVs are getting wrecked.
He's a deep enjoyer. Nygoki coming in with a Marine run by, not bad. Does sneak out and gets a couple of SCVs. HonMonO getting another command center towards the left-hand side. Double expanding even. Just taking all those bases. HonMonO is going to be the first to max out. And again, we need a 3rd. We need more bases. We need to sustain ourselves. +1 air attack? Okay. +1 air attack on the way. Oh, the Reavers are looking very exposed. As Nygoki does spot the main army. Oh, Raven goes down. He gets 1, he gets 2. 2 Ravens do fall. And he's going for the dive. Pushing up the ramp. Massive lockdown here on the tank. Oh my god, Reaver shot goes off. Massive connections. Yeah, shots are brutal. Reavers are coming in from behind. And can we hold? Pumita, the Protoss he's carrying. We need the Reavers though. Oh, lockdowns on the Dragoons. The boys are being pulled. Reaver shots, they connect. And it looks like the duo, they will barely hold on. It would have been a clean, as a couple of Reaver shots are wasted. Yeah, they're going to be wasted towards the left-hand side. Dragoons are going down. Very efficient trade here by HonMonO. And again, this would have been a much cleaner fight if Pumita was in position. If the Protoss was on the high ground, if the Protoss was in position, if both players were aware of the army, this would have been a much cleaner hold. And alas, here comes the second wave. And Pumita and Nygoki, they're not ready. They're not ready for this. Nygoki, he lost everything. He lost all of his tanks. The Reavers, they get locked down. And HonMonO, he's going for the kill. Forcing his way up the ramp. Locks down every single unit. The Reavers, the Dragoons, and the tanks. And again, without those Reaver shots, HonMonO, he can stim, he can win. The Reaver shots were insane though. In fact, they were very impressive. Despite that, HonMonO can just rally on forward. It locks down some of the probes. At this point, why not? As HonMonO, he has done it. He has broken through. Again, unfortunately, the duo, they didn't have eyes on the main army. They didn't know where HonMonO was. Once again, lockdowns on the Reavers. Scarabs aren't quite ready. And HonMonO is going for the Protoss. He knows that the Protoss is his biggest threat. And he will push in. Ah, it's the rally. It's endless. Just non-stop bio production. He's making 22 ghosts at a time. That's crazy. That's actually insane. 22 ghosts. Oh my god. Yo, I heard you like ghosts. Oh no. I heard you were afraid of the paranormal. Ay, ay, ay. Yes. HonMonO, he's not normal. True, true. As the main base is going to go down for Pumita, and now we can rotate over towards the Terran, towards Nygoki. Nygoki is just rallying in. Ah. How many ghosts does he have? 54! 54 ghosts! 55! Crazy, soon to be 70. As the army does start to step forward. Lockdowns on the SCVs. And GG gets called. With that, HonMonO takes down his first duo. GG. Ooh. GG, well played. HonMonO does take down Nygoki and Pumita. Not bad, but now he's up against a different duo entirely. And again, when it came to the main engagement, there was potential for the duo of Protoss and Terran, 100%. We saw how brutal those Reaver shots were. Like, so much of the bio just crumbled before the Reavers. It was just unfortunate that, one, Pumita was out on the map, so he wasn't at home to help in the defense. Two, that Nygoki got caught unsieged. If you remember, Nygoki was in the middle of moving out, and he lost 2 Ravens before the fight began. He lost 2 Ravens, he lost a bunch of tanks out in the open as well. He had to race back to the ramp. So again, both players were caught out by HonMonO. They didn't know where he was, they didn't know where he was coming from. So GG. GG, well played. HonMonO does take it, and now we're getting ready for another duo to step into the ring. It's going to be a Terran and a Zerg this time, Spirit and Atlas. Let's go. Is going to be the final match of the night. Is going to be that final match as we load into Crimson Research Lab. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Crimson Research Lab, we have the duo themselves. We have the yellow Zerg player, I believe the SC2 Zerg and the SC2 Teal Terran. We have Spirit and Atlas. Latino America. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the man of the hour himself. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Pink Terran, representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. Oh, and he's telling them. Telling them he's gonna cheese it out, papi. Ay, ay, ay. Spirit saying he will as well. Okay, let's go. Let us go. As the initial SV is moving out for an expansion. Okay, HonMonO he is not proxying. He is going for a fast third base. He is rushing into his third. And whip all the boys. Let's go. Wait, does he? Wait, no, of course, no, that's HonMonO. Oh, sorry, my apologies. HonMonO, he expands back and he does pull the boys. Likewise, workers have to be pulled, and we should see a defense here from both Atlas and from Spirit. I mean, they have double the worker count, so they should be okay. But again, as a reminder, throughout all of this, HonMonO is expanding. HonMonO is expanding, he's throwing down Raxes, he is macroing behind this, he has a one base economy. And he's delaying a lot of mining time. So SCVs are thrown away. They do deal some damage. Both players still one base. Ah, lo siento. As HonMonO does turn back around. And again, from here, who do I favor coming into this? I mean, HonMonO still has a decent economy. But now it's a little bit more even in the sense where everyone has a one base economy at this point, as HonMonO lost all of his SCVs.
Our allies are being
You can see here 0 workers mining from that natural. The spray gets thrown down. Let's go. HonMonO racing back. And HonMonO is going to have that much less to defend and just now getting into his own bioproduction. Marines are building up. The Academy's on the way. Has to be repositioned. Again, a shaky start here from HonMonO. But we'll see if he can recover. Again, HonMonO, he's challenging himself. I mean, we saw how well you can just snowball out of control in the last game, especially with how greedy you can be when you start off with a 2-base economy. So this time, HonMonO hindering himself. Is going to be Roach play here out of Atlas. Very early Roach Warren. Ooh, this doesn't feel too efficient here. Like, Atlas doesn't really have the best economy to sustain Roach production on 2 bases. So this does feel very early out of Atlas. Likewise, Spirit is also still in 1 base, just now going for a Rax into Factory, into Expansion. Delayed CC here from Spirit. So I would imagine part of this is because how disrupted the opener was. Because it was so much less mining time, our 2 players here are quite uncomfortable, and they're just now trying to get into the 2 base economies. And HonMonO is going to be the first to settle in. You can see here HonMonO, he has 32 SCVs, and both Atlas and Spirits, they have what, 20 between them, or 40 together. Also, what I find really interesting here, HonMonO, if he wanted to, like he was previously, he could make SCVs. He isn't making any SCVs here out of this CC, out of this command center. So again, HonMonO, he's intentionally kind of hindering himself here, like having a proper 1v2 where he doesn't benefit from an extra expansion early on. I mean, still did benefit a little bit from the harassing damage of those SCVs. True, that did happen. Outside of that, Atlas, he arrives, and again, as you mentioned, because of how early the Roach Warren was, and because of how early all this tech is, again, this does feel very inefficient. You can see that's why he only has 1 Roach, only 1 Roach. He can't really afford upgrades like this. I'm referring to the lair into Roach speed, into double Evo chamber as well, off of a sub 2 base economy. So Atlas, he's getting ahead of himself. Meanwhile, when it comes to the Terran side of things, likewise, we are lacking workers as well. As our duo, they're falling behind economically, and that means in a longer game state, HonMonO, he's going to snowball out of control, and he will be the first to max out. Nice effect. The last HonMonO, he's settling in. Building up the fast Hydrogen here out of Atlas, and again, still under 2 base saturation, so we're just getting ahead of ourselves here from the start of Atlas. Meanwhile, we do see Spirit going for a 3rd CC, so trying to make use of his own economy, trying to catch back up himself. Getting to his own tank banshee production. But HonMonO is moving out, and honestly, there's not much of them to defend. Like, what units are there? There's 2 Queens, there's 1 Cyclone, there's 1 Marine. There is no real army here. Atlas's army is across the map, and Spirit doesn't really have much to work with. He's got 1 tank, at least. Has 1 tank, soon to be 1 Banshee. But again, the armies are lacking. HonMonO is still setting up. Rumbai does hit the mineral line though. Not bad. The Slowlings, they get in. Some SCVs aren't going down. That's going to be 4 SCV kills. 4 SCVs do fall. HonMonO, he races back home. This is buying a lot of time. A lot of time that both players desperately need. Atlas now getting into early Roach Hydra production. Still under 2 base economy. Still building up. Again, both players, they still need more time to actually get into their own production. And yeah, I'm afraid to look here. Okay, so HonMonO, he's got 41 Marines. At home, there's 8 Marines to defend, 2 tanks. There are 11 Roaches. Some of them are out on the map. Yeah, they're moving out. And here comes HonMonO. And I'll be very impressed if this duo can survive this. As HonMonO sims in, gets a tank, takes down the Cyclone. There is a tank on the high ground, and HonMonO, he will go for the CC. Attempts to lift, the CC goes down. And from here, HonMonO can keep pushing, but at the same time, Atlas goes for a counterattack. Have their reinforcements back at home. HonMonO, he does turn around. He's racing back home. HonMonO taking this seriously. Shuts down the Roaches. 1-1 not quite done. We have Lurkers being morphed in. Let's the Lunkers, baby. The Lair Tech Lurkers. They're on the way. 2 of them. Let's go. Atlas is setting up. Making his way towards the natural. Not really within range of much here. There's a scan. HonMonO comes in from behind and he just collapses on the army. And stims in, spreads out the Marines. Gets 1. Gets both. Both Lurkers go down. Atlas's army gets cleaned up. Behind this, the 3rd base for Spirit is going to be forced to land here at the natural. Still no 2 base economy. HonMonO is on 3. Still building up, still moving out. Now Spirit, his tank count is slowly building up. He's got 2 tanks. Now he has a decent amount of bio. Stim is almost done for Spirit. Like this Terran army, it's building up. Spirit, he's becoming that much more formidable. And if both these armies work together, I can see a world where both Spirit and Atlas can actually fight this and win. But they have to, again, come together as one here. The tanks, the Lurkers. You can see Atlas taking a ninja base. Let's go. Ninja base on the way. As HonMonO's main army gets spotted, you can see Atlas responding as well. Both armies, they rotate. Of course, HonMonO, he did spot this with the scan, is aware. Just now getting to his own ghost production. The ghosts are building up back at home. Let's go, Spirit going for his own drop. HonMonO, he is ready for this though. More than ready. Like that's HonMonO, he will catch out the main army. Oh, the Lurker shot too. Up! And massive splash shot's going to be going off. The bio army does crumble. But HonMonO, he will still clean this up. Takes down the Lurkers. Ninja base not quite getting saturated. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't think there was a reason to get a ninja base. We could have just taken the 3rd. Like, HonMonO hasn't really been active here on the left-hand side, so I feel like these bases are quite free. And this just makes it that much more difficult to actually saturate and send workers over here. And we can see HonMonO. Still just committed to only using his facilities. Spirit is going to be forced back. Ghost Academy on the way. Spirit getting his third. How about HonMonO? He has an overwhelming army. And again, I don't feel like two players here can fight on their own. And Roach Hydra getting called out. We need to work together, papi. And here we go. Here comes Spirit. Unfortunately, this time there isn't really much Zerg support. Looking at the armies, Atlas has 3 Roaches. Like, this is the army. 3 Roaches for Atlas. So it's going to turn into a 1v1. I mean, that is a brutal tank line, but that's what the Ghosts are for. Lockdown on the medevac. HonMonO will snipe. Lurker production has begun. We have 2 more lurkers on the way. So Alice can assist in the next fight in some way. No! He goes to lockdowns. There's a scan! No scan. Brutal lockdown to almost every single tank. Here comes the scan. The ghosts get caught out. Ooh, was that worth it for HonMonO? But there's only 1 tank that's left sieged. HonMonO stims in, and now there are 2 lurkers, and wow, they hold. HonMonO being too cheeky here. HonMonO is going to get shut down. I mean, the lockdowns, it was a crazy move. It wasn't quite worth it in the end. Oh, move command. Bit of a misrally here from HonMonO. Gets caught out. No, the duo they're holding. Let's go. Does he do move out? HonMonO, he does spot the move. He wants the tanks, and he's going to get them. Dust them in. He gets 1. Gets 2. The army, a bit of, don't quite have as much unison here. Spirit turns back around, and Alice commits. Alice, he commits to the counterattack. HonMonO pushing in, catching more reinforcements. Alice moving in towards that natural, heavily oversaturated, 30 SCVs. And HonMonO, does he turn back around? He's thinking about it. Actually rotating over towards the 3rd base of the Terran. HonMonO getting supply blocks. Meanwhile, Spirit completely out of position. Planetary's under fire. The boys are being pulled to repair. Zerg army gets forced back. And the Planetary is barely holding on. Does survive. He holds all the EMPs. The counter EMP. As HonMonO does collapse on those lurkers, we'll clean up the Zerg army. Does defend. We'll clean this up. Did lose the base though, or at least part of his mineral line. Still at 76 SCVs, Jesus. Still a very high worker count here for HonMonO. Spirit going for drop play. Alice, he's on somewhat of a 3-base economy, now getting a 4th. Lurkers are on the way. I believe he has no hive. No, sorry, does have a hive. Still is lacking those lurker upgrades. Forced to cancel. HonMonO denies the 4th. Spirit, he's going to try to respond. He's rotating over. HonMonO overstimmed. Lockdown on the tank. EMP does miss. Tanks are trying to siege up. Once again, another brutal lockdown. But the duo they're holding. 4th base on the way. Here comes that double drop. But there's plenty of him to defend. Yeah, there's plenty back at home. Oh my god, the lockdowns are brutal. Catches both full medevacs. HonMonO, he holds. He can focus on his push. That is still a lot of lurkers. A lot of lunkers have morphed in. Again, unfortunately, no lurker upgrades. They're still yet to be researched. As HonMonO, he rotates. Rallying everything across the map. And once again, Alice going for the backstab. And this time, there's nothing at home. Nice EMP. But there's still so many ghosts. Yeah, lockdowns are brutal. HonMonO is pushing in, takes down 2 of the tanks, going for the planetary. And at the same time, Atlas just coming to the base trade. And back at home, Spirit, he holds. He's holding on. He holds back at home with his tank line. And HonMonO, he turns around. Meanwhile, Atlas pushing further in towards the main. Let's go. Came the production. He's like, stop. Leave me alone. No, he's not stopping, Pappy. He somewhat has control of the ramp, and again, Ghost, they cannot lock down lurkers. And here we go. Atlas pushing in, takes down the CC. Getting on top of the Raxes. Pushing into the lurker is not going to be easy for HonMonO. The smash of the Lairtech lunkers. And Atlas, he's doing it. He has done. He's just outpositioned HonMonO. Shuts down the bio. And they've done it. They kind of work together. No. There is no Ahmad. Not here. GG gets called. And Spirits and Atlas together, they take down HonMonO. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A very chaotic game is what I will say. Very chaotic. And of course, HonMonO, he did, in a way, hinder himself. He did start off with a handicap by throwing away all of his SCVs at his own natural base, or at the second base. So that is definitely a factor, of course. But despite that, HonMonO definitely had a lot of opportunities. And it took a really long time for both Spirit and for Atlas to really get their economies going. It was a really shaky start. Very shaky. And there was definitely opportunities for HonMonO to try to punish that. Alas, he wasn't too aggressive and too assertive, and over time, both Spirit and Atlas, they were able to stabilize, able to build up a semblance of an army, and yeah, in some way kind of work together. We had Spirit being the defender, and Atlas with the non-stop counterattacks. Some attacks were less successful than others, but when it mattered most, did pop off. GG, well played. Congratulations here to both Spirit and Atlas, and with that, that was our final best of one of the night. GG, well played. Once again, a back and forth between Latino America and HonMonO. As we quickly catch up on the scoreline, on the results. Let's go. Let us go. The 1v2 is usually versus amateur players. Yes. If I didn't make that clear before, I do apologize. But yes, when it comes to the 1v2s and the 1v3s, they do not allow GMs getting involved. Otherwise, it would be unfair. So the 1v1s are against GM players. So Ninja, Draconix, and RyoGin, they are GMs themselves. And the 1v2s are against amateur players. Just to keep things more even, to keep things more fair. But regardless, GG, well played. And again, a lot of these 1v1s were very close as well. I do recommend the VODs. I do recommend tuning into HonMonO versus Ninja and HonMonO versus RyoGin. There's a world out there where all three Latin American players win their games. 100%. There's a world out there where that happens. Shout out to Draconix, of course, for taking down HonMonO in that best of one. And HonMonO, of course, he fought back against Ninja, against RyoGin. Again, very close, very clutch games. And of course, they take down both Nygoki and Pumita. Meanwhile, Spirit and Atlas took down HonMonO at the end of the night. GG. With a 3-2 scoreline, technically HonMonO does take down Latino America. GG. Fun fact, I think we had a similar scoreline with MC as well. I remember MC, he lost his matches against RyoGin and against some of the other, and Eon, that's it. I think Eon and RyoGin, they were the ones that defeated MC, but MC beat everyone else. Did beat everyone else. Here we go. And with that, GG, well played. HonMonO's GM, yeah, HonMonO, he's a pro player. Is a pro player. And which is why it's HonMonO versus everyone else. We've already featured Dark, already featured Byun. So we've had Dark, we've had Byun, Su before he retired, HonMonO, and MC. So 5. We've had 5 of these so far. Featuring, again, Dark, Byun, Su, MC, and HonMonO. Typically, a Korean pro goes up against the community of Latino America. GG, well played. And before we wrap up, we have an interview. We have a small, cheeky interview. It was always a lot of fun hearing from MC last week, or last time with that interview, just hearing his perspective on things, especially considering that MC is a retired, legend of the scene. So it was really cool to hear his perspective. Now we have HonMonO, who's more of a modern, more of a younger player. And yeah, we'll see what they ask him here. Of course, Enki is conducting the interview himself, and we have our first question. So Enki's first question here is, what do you think of StarCraft Evolution? Will it be an official event one day? What's your point of view? I think that's interesting just because HonMonO is very active when it comes to the StarCraft Evolution scene. I mean, he competes in StarCraft 2, that is true, but he also competes quite a lot in StarCraft Evolution as well, as opposed to MC, he only plays like in show matches here and there. Like, MC isn't really an active player, so his perspective was very different. But HonMonO, he's saying that he's not really sure. He's saying that he doesn't really know what the future of SC Evo is, that currently pro players don't really play StarCraft Evolution, which is true. The StarCraft Evolution player base, it is quite limited. It draws mainly from SE2. I don't think it really draws from the Brood War scene. I think the Brood War players, they play Brood War, and StarCraft Evolution draws mainly from StarCraft 2 players instead. And we did see some SE2 pros, of course, play in the championship, in the full championship of StarCraft Evolution. That is true. We had Spirit, we had Skilless, we had Classic, we had Dark, of course, as well as Shin and many others. But again, they only did compete in StarCraft Evolution. They in the championship, I should say. They didn't really partake in the bi-weekly tournaments, in the more regular events. I mean, I say that out of all of them, Classic and Shin, they seemed like the most devoted or the most interested out of the Korean pros. But that's only two, right? That's only two of them, and there's not really as much growth coming or as much interest coming from the other StarCraft 2 pro players. And HonMonO says, yeah, he says there can be some event matches, some show matches, he thinks. So HonMonO is saying that he thinks that whenever there's a big event or show matches being held, then sure, the SE2 pros, they get involved, but outside of that happening, like, they're not really too interested in like laddering, for example, and regularly competing and taking part in StarCraft Evolution. And HonMonO says, outside of just like pro gamers not really playing in StarCraft Evolution, he's also saying that balancing is really hard. Which does make sense. For those that are curious, SC Evo is balanced in a way where they always oh, sorry, you can't see me. Where they always do, of course, focus on balancing Brood War versus SE2, and they do adjust the Brood War units. But it is still a very difficult kind of thing to control. It's not easy balancing. Question number 2: which opponent would you like to face in an extended best of 7 show match? Oh, okay. In StarCraft Evolution. So best of 7 show match. Who would HonMonO want to play against? And Enki's asking him, like, Bjorn, Shin, Rebellion, 3 points. I mean, we did force him to play a show match, true. HonMonO on 3 point. HonMonO, he's saying he doesn't really play a lot against Rebellion, so he'd like to play. Okay. So he says Rebellion. Rebellion, for those who don't know, is a Korean Protoss. He's a Korean Protoss player. Kind of like HonMonO, Rebellion, he competes a lot in SE2, and he competes in StarCraft Evolution as well. I think what I appreciate about Rebellion as a player in StarCraft Evolution is that he does come up with a lot of builds. I mean, I say that, like, Rebellion, Lunacy, there's another player that Farmy as well. Like, a lot of the Korean Protosses, they work together to, like, figure things out, which is a lot of fun. Okay, last question. What do you enjoy most when playing as Terran from Brood War? Nukes, lockdown, HonMonO, mass lockdown. I agree. HonMonO, he's like, mass lockdown, it's OP. True. So that's what HonMonO he enjoys the most, which I think we saw that in most of those games. Like, he was almost always going bio into Ghost into mass lockdown. And I agree, like, as a spectator, as a viewer, whenever we see that, it's disgusting. It is absolutely insane. Like just seeing mass lockdowns, it's crazy, crazy. Just because of like its targeting of how long it lasts as well. Okay, now we know. Extra question. And HonMonO, he's saying that Brood War Terran versus SC2 Zerg is too hard to play because lockdowns don't work. For those that are curious, lockdowns, they only work on mechanical units, so they work on most Protoss units and a lot of key Terran units, but they don't work on biological, so you can't lock, as we saw in the 2v1, you can't lock down lurkers, you can't lock down ultras, for example. So HonMonO is saying that he struggles against Zerg because of that. He doesn't have his lockdown. Anki's asking, do you enjoy speaking Spanish? And yes, HonMonO is saying day 393 of Duolingo. Let's go. Grande amigo. Genial. Okay. And that was the last question. Saying thank you for thank you for taking parts. Yeah, big shout to HonMonO. Big shout out. And a shout out to all the other casters as well. Okay. I think they're wrapping up. I don't know why. HonMonO, he's saying bebo leche. Why? I don't know why. Why is he saying that? HonMonO saying it's easy to pronounce. Bebo leche. Okay. Fair enough. He drinks all the milk. Shaking my head. I wonder why. There's still more games? No, we just wrapped up. Just wrapped up all the games. Just like an end of series interview here with HonMonO. And with that, we're done. With that, we are wrapping up here for the day. Again, a bit of a shorter broadcast here, just 2 hours. And if you're unsatiated, if you want some more StarCraft, we're going to be live on the channel in 22 hours. I should use this more often. Hold on. Bam. There we go. You can see here the CranKy Ducklings weekly schedule. So you can see here on Friday, we just finished casting HonMonO versus La Comunidad Latino or LatAm. And later on tonight at 9 p.m. KST, again in 22 hours, you can see there, that is the Leo League Cup Global Qualifier. So we have the Global Qualifier in 22 hours. You can see on Saturday, we have Massive Coliseum. And on Sunday, also Massive Coliseum as well. I don't apologize. I've had this for so long and I've just never used it. But I can just like show the schedule and just talk about it. It's just so much easier. Instead of just like looking over at the calendar. But yeah, this is our current weekly schedule here. We've been quite busy covering a lot of events, of course. And again, later on tonight, tomorrow, and the day after, all starting at the same time at 9 p.m. KST. We have Massive Coliseum and Leo League Cup. So if you're curious, if you want some more StarCraft, we have you covered there. If you cannot watch live at 9 p.m. KST, then you can, of course, check out the VODs, as we have all of our VODs uploaded to YouTube on a daily basis. So everything's on YouTube. Plenty of content is there. We stream on YouTube as well. We stream on Facebook, TikTok, Kick, Twitch, all things CranKy Ducklings. We're all over the place, baby. We are all over the place. Likewise, you can follow us on social medias, as you can see there in the chat. Exclamation mark socials to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. All the CranKy Ducklings. Just catching up with the chat. Hey man, been loving the channel. Still catching up on the Lulu Grand Finals, but saw you were live. Oh, thank you, Nathan. Thank you so much. Yes, the Lulu Cup qualifier was yesterday, and we have another one tonight. Another one is tonight. First game showed the starting with two base income was broken. My man was self-regulated. He did. Shout out to HonMonO. He did temper himself. It was very nice. Respect. Yeah. But yeah, with that, we are going to be wrapping up here. I was tempted to have a ladder stream just because the stream was so short, but we have some things to do. I have a lot of VODs to edit and scheduling to do, and I wouldn't mind doing some laundry as well and doing some cleanup here back at home. So yeah, with that, we'll take it easy. We'll take it easy today. No ladder stream. I should be streaming tomorrow though. As you can see, tomorrow, on Saturday and on Sunday, we only have one cast. Only one cast on the CranKy Duckling? Crazy. Like we're taking it easy. But because there's only one broadcast on Saturday and Sunday, it means that I will have time to ladder to stream on my personal channel. If you're curious, light_VIP on Twitch. I do stream whenever I have some time to. It can be quite difficult just because we do cast a lot, and I do focus a lot on casting. Like more often than not, I'm willing to just forego streaming just so I can rest and just so I can sleep and just to make sure that I'm like energetic for the cast. I have definitely gone through the experience of like laddering before a cast, and it's not a good idea, especially because like I spend like it takes so much energy to ladder, and especially if the ladder session goes poorly, then you're smoging, then you're not like as upbeat, and then that influences the cast negatively. So I try not to ladder before a cast. I don't stream before a cast, or at least I try not to. But again, on Saturday and Sunday, I will have like a longer break in between, and yeah, we can ladder. We can stream, we can play some Spider-Man, play some Miles Morales. We'll see what we do. So yeah, look forward to that tomorrow and the day after over the weekend. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We'll see you guys next time. Laundry stream, true. True. Do it once you drink milk and eat apples. There you go. Oh, the tuna, the saba. Dong one. But yeah, with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. We'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys at 9 p.m. KST. Otherwise, we'll see you when we see you. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. We'll find someone to send everyone over to, so stick around. Otherwise, see you next time. Ciao. See you next time.